people begging for me to do this, people that are in great pain.
The move does not decriminalize pot, but it could remove some barriers to research into medical marijuana and CBD. Still, it makes some lawmakers nervous.
I'm not so sure about that.
We have so many drug issues and so forth, and we want to be protective of our young people.
In the Oval Office, the president claimed he was surprised to learn that the board of D.C.'s famed John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts had just voted to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center.
I was honored by it. The board is a very distinguished board, most distinguished people in the country.
Trump fired half the board in February, replacing Democrats with supporters, like his chief of staff and the second lady. He also started dropping hints.
At the Trump Kennedy Center, at the Kennedy Center.
Former Congressman Joe Kennedy is JFK's grandnephew.
This is a building that is a living memorial to a fallen president, right? This is not just another building. It's not a skyscraper in New York City. It's not something whose name is up for auction. It is a living legacy to a man who gave his life for our country.
Nancy, you can change the name on a web page, but who has the actual power to change the name of the building?
Well, John, the Kennedy Center was established by Congress, so only Congress has the power to officially change the name. But that may not stop President Trump from putting his name on the building anyway, just as he did at the Institute of Peace, which is another D.C. landmark that he renamed earlier this month.
Nancy Cordes at the White House. Thank you, Nancy.
Now to the economy. Inflation eased some last month. The Consumer Price Index rose at an annual rate of 2.7%. That is down from 3% in September, but still above the Federal Reserve target rate of 2%.
Dairy products saw modest price drops in November, while meat and electricity were up.
By Congress and signed by President Trump, the Justice Department has until tomorrow to release its files on the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Today, House Democrats released more photos from the estate of the convicted sex offender. Here is Justice correspondent Scott McFarland.
Included in the newly released photos are images of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein appearing to place something on or write on a young woman or girl. Another image shows a woman's foot with a quote from Lolita, the novel about a man's obsession with an underage girl. An excerpt of a text message shows a discussion about sending girls and a cost per girl from an unknown sender. Bill Gates is seen with a woman whose face is redacted, and the philosopher Noam Chomsky is shown traveling with Epstein. Those photos show no wrongdoing. There's also a picture of Epstein's passport, which has a notation specifying he's a sex offender. The photos were released by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee.
Let's release all the files to the American public. That's the best way to put this all to rest.
Tomorrow is the deadline for the Trump administration to release all of the Epstein case files, potentially tens of thousands of pages and videos, including grand jury materials from prosecutions of Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. Survivors have sought records for years through multiple administrations, and they question if the Trump administration will find some grounds to hold some back.
They have been fighting for nearly 20 years to let the public know what happened to them, who was involved, and for some measure of justice by the federal government.
The Department of Justice has not answered our questions about exactly when or how they'll release these files, or if they'll hold any back based on the president's recent order that the feds investigate any connections between Epstein and Democrats.
Okay, Scott McFarland in Washington, thanks.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, new charges in the widening Medicaid fraud scandal in Minnesota.
And the search for a house cat snatched by a delivery driver.
Is your asthma